So, welcome to another edition of Delicious Dishes. I'm your host, Big Jim Wilkerson. I'm glad you're here with me tonight because we're going to deal with another vegetable like we did last time. Asparagus is a vegetable that many people don't care for. I don't know why. Tonight we're going to use another vegetable that people gag when you hear it, when they hear the sound of it. And that is the wonderful beet. Alright, now beets, for me, I love the earthy smell. It just has an earthy smell. You'll just have to smell them whenever you get them. And the taste, it's sweet, but earthy at the same time. It's really good. It's one of those things that throws me back to my great-grandmother's kitchen. She always had a garden, a big garden every year, and a greenhouse. And my other grandmother, she pickled beets every year, and I love pickled beets. And actually these raw beets, actually I think these are pre-cooked, but these beets have a similar flavor of a pickled beet. So I guess beets just have a good flavor to them. Now, about the beet, some interesting things you may want to know are that some people, a very small percentage of people, when they eat beets, it will turn their urine red. Just like asparagus has a tendency to turn your urine green, beets have a tendency to turn your urine red. Now that's only in a small percentage of people. And if, when you eat beets, you find that your urine has turned red, it's an indicator that you should probably make a follow-up visit to your doctor, because it could mean that your body is having trouble metabolizing iron. It's either metabolizing it very fast, or it's having trouble metabolizing it very slowly. And iron is such an important part of our diet, you want to make sure to have that checked out. If your pee turns red, don't worry about it. Don't think the world has come to an end. It hasn't. But it's something to think about and to mention to your doctor next time you go see them. Now, beets are an important source of folates, which are the natural form of folic acid. You've heard of folic acid in your vitamins. Folates are the natural form that you'll find in vegetables like beets, and beets are a good source of that. And that's a folic acid. Folates are just a B vitamin that you'll find in lots of vegetables and foods. So tonight we're going to deal with the lowly beet, the earthy beet, and we're going to make a soup called, strangely enough, beet soup. I hope that you'll join me. Okay, welcome back to Delicious Dishes. Let's run over the ingredients that we need for our beet soup. To our 2 quarts of water, which I'm currently heating, we are going, now I say 2 quarts, and that's true. I'm not, this recipe I'm not doubling for my big family. I'm not taking that into consideration because I don't know how many people are going to want to try it, because I've had several mention that they were less than pleased that I was making it. So I'm just going to make a single batch. It's going to be good for about 6 people. I figure that'll be good. So if you've got a regular sized family, this will work for you. And you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this water. This is 2 quarts of water. Just added a little bit of kosher salt. We need 1 bouillon cube. Now I'm adding a beef bouillon. You may want to add a chicken. I don't know. Let's see here. We are also going to add, now this is 2 onions sliced thinly, pretty thinly. I used our mandolin chopper, and so I'm going to add those in here. That's 2 nice sized onions. Alrighty. Then we're also going to need 3 chopped up celery sticks, celery stalks, I should say, I guess. So 3 celery stalks, 2 onions. Let's get that in there. You know, Mr. Sous Chef, I could use a big spoon to stir this with. Just talking to my sous chef there. So I'm also going to add our, almost said vitamins, but our beets. Okay. Add our beets to that. Oh, I love the smell of beets. Almost as much as I love the smell of asparagus. That metal, kind of a big metal spoon, you know. Follows it over in the dishwasher. But we're also going to need, to help with this beets, because they're really have a lot of sugar with them, but we're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'm going to add that in there. And also 6 teaspoons of olive oil. All right. Extra virgin olive oil. Get that in there. Well, if we can't find that, let's just find any old spoon, any big spoon. That'll work. Alright. How about that blue one? That's never been featured in one of our videos. Got the old blue here. So, alright. So we are going to just bring this to a boil. Oh, look at that red color that's coming in already. Onion, celery. Wow. You know, I am just, this recipe, by the way, has come from my favorite book, the 12 Months of Monastery Soups by brother, I can't remember his name, but I'll have that for you later. And I have never been disappointed. Well, only once have we been disappointed in one of his soups. And strangely enough, the one we were disappointed in was a children's soup that had milk and fruit and bread in it, and the kids just hated it. But other than that, normal soups we have really enjoyed, and I am expecting to be pleased with this one. So it's international, and I expect to be pleased. Alright, so we're going to bring that to a boil and let that simmer for about, I think about half an hour. So about half an hour, we'll say about 30 minutes. I'll check the recipe book while we're gone and let you know if that changes. So I'm going to cover that and bring it to a boil, and we'll be back after that. Just in time. Alright, well, there is our soup. Let me turn this thing off. Turn down the heat. Now what you have to do is let this sit for about, it's cooked for half an hour. Now we have to let it sit for about 15 minutes. My poor beets. And Then we're going to come back and we're going to use our old stick blender to blend it up. It's still the old broken one. I haven't replaced it yet. So we're going to let this sit for 15 minutes and then we'll be back. Oh, and by the way, I realized I never told you how many beets were in this, and it's 4 large beets. I used probably more like 8 to 10 little ones, but I would use just about 4 large beets. So let's wait 15 minutes, and we'll be back. Okay, well, 15 minutes is up, and our soup is rested for that time. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the old broken stick blender, and we're gonna blend this up. Hopefully soon I'll be able to replace this, but I have to be careful until then. So we're gonna blend this, and let's go. I guess that's why it's broken. I'm going around and finding any clumps, and then blending them. The directions say to put it in a blender, but I'm not going to do that. It's funny because it looks like it's got little chunks of cranberry sauce in it. Now we're going to bring this back up to heat. I'm going to turn the heat up. And we're going to warm this back up, although it's still pretty blasted warm, pretty blasted hot, I'd say. So we'll be back in a moment. Okay, here's our beet soup. I'm going to taste it now. I've added a couple of sprinkles of kosher salt and a couple of grinds of fresh pepper and some dill weed, And you could also add some onion. One of our cats is loose. We're having a cat party. You could also add some green onion tops and some croutons, but I've got myself some rustic sourdough bread to take the place of that. So here goes. I have to say, it doesn't look so appetizing, but the smell is wonderful. So I'm going to try it. Let's see how it goes here. Hot, hot. Wow. Yeah, compared to how it looks, this tastes phenomenal. You don't even really get that earthy flavor that you taste when they're raw or when they're cooked. Hi, kitty. Is that Pippin? That's our Mycroft cat, not our Pippin cat. Wow, that is good. I had my doubts. That's very tasty, very flavorful. It's not a thick soup, but it's not a thin one either. You don't get that, like I said, earthy flavor. The onions, you don't really, I guess the mixture of the onions and all the vegetables just come together. Somehow, this guy that wrote this cookbook, my good buddy, brother Victor Antoine Davila La Tourette, author of 12 Months of Monastery Soups, International Favorites, he has done it again. This is such a good book, and I just highly recommend it. Well, I'm going to eat some more of this and see who I can talk into having some. You know that B vitamins are good for energy, so maybe I'll feel more energetic. Hopefully my urine won't turn red, but if it does, I'll just mention it to the doctor. You know, really it kind of tastes like a potato soup. Really, beets are root vegetables, so maybe they're kind of like red potatoes. Wow. It does. It tastes like a potato soup. What do you know? Well, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Delicious Dishes. I hope that you'll take a moment to, subscribe to my channel and maybe take a look at some of my other soup videos. And while you're at it, you could maybe learn how to program, do some computer programming. That's always fun. So, thank you so much, and have a good evening.